So good evening, everybody. My name is Chris Potts. I'm with J. Brown Professional Group, and I have Logan Peters here with our office as well. And this is the neighborhood workshop for the redevelopment of Terra Estates. The project is, as everybody knows, is currently under construction, and we're resubmitting to the county to make some minor modifications to the current approved plan. Since I guess we just have a few people who are on Zoom, if you are using Zoom, we just have a few instructions for how to ask questions, and we will get to you. If participants could use the dialog box to click raise hand, and JB Pro will reach out to you in a private chat to answer any of your questions, as well as put you in the list that we have for questions at the end of the presentation. Now we just ask that all comments and questions to be refrained as much as we can until the end of the presentation, and we will get to everybody's comments and questions at the end. Again, just down at the bottom, you'll see the chat feature, and search down to JB Pro Group. If you're using Zoom, feel free to type in any questions, and again, at the end of the presentation, we will address them accordingly. So for today's agenda, we're going to discuss the location of the project, as well as the land use and zoning, the proposed site plan, and then open it up for neighborhood considerations as well as questions. We will also do our best to answer all your questions, and we'll be here as long as we can to satisfy all your questions. So the project location. The project is located off of 8th Avenue, just east of Southwest 143rd Street. It is just west of town of Tioga. As you're leaving 8th Avenue heading towards 143rd, the project will be on your left, which is the south side of 8th Avenue. Is it again adjacent to other single-family residences to the south and to the north. The parcel is roughly 14.8 acres, and it is zoned R1A, and land use is low-density residential. With the zoning, the property is allowed to have 1 to 4 acres per unit. The surrounding properties have the same single-family residential zoning, R1A to the north, R1A to the south, R2 to the northwest, and then again, town of Tioga is a planned PD to the east. The land use is mimicking the same land use that's around the property. Low density residential is surrounding it to the northeast and west. We do not plan on changing the zoning or the land use, just only develop the property as it currently stands. So the project has previously been approved by Alachua County. We were meeting the traditional neighborhood design criteria under the Alachua County's ULDC. It's typically referred to as a T&D nomenclature. The current site plan was approved for 45 residential lots with just over 3 acres per dwelling unit. The main access will be off of 8th Avenue, and we're previously proposing pedestrian connections to the surrounding properties to the north, to the south, as well as to the east and west. And again, this project has already been approved by the county, and the current site plan is what you see here. So the proposed changes to the site plan include modifying the Basin 2 on the west side to add 2 additional lots, which can be seen here in the next slide. We're adding 2 more lots on the west side for a total of 47 lots, so just increasing it by 2, which will increase the density to 3.2 roughly per acre, which is still under the threshold of 1 to 4 acres per unit, which is allowed by the R1A zoning. The project will still meet the traditional neighborhood design criteria by Alachua County, the T&D criteria, that is. The open space and tree canopy will remain the same, and the only modification will be to the stormwater basin in the northwest. And the project is currently going through the preliminary stages, the preliminary DRC stages with the county. And once the project has been approved, hopefully by Alachua County, we'll move on to the final DRC, where we'll provide final design plans for the stormwater and the 2 additional lots that we're proposing. Again, the main access will be from 8th Avenue. However, there is a emergency access to the south to 9th Lane. Now, again, this will be just emergency access only, with a emergency gate that will only allow first responders access through the gate. So all 47 residents will be using the main entrance on 8th Avenue to come and go as they need the residents. Just another enlarged copy of the proposed site plan. And so the next steps will be revised preliminary plan, which the project has been submitted and is currently under review by the county. We anticipate that project going to BOCC later this year for approval. And final development plans will be submitted towards the end of the year, beginning of 2021. And construction will begin for the 2 additional lots and the modification to the stormwater basin in the spring of 2021. So that concludes our presentation. I know it was short and sweet, but since most of you are only calling in by phone, we'll go ahead and open it up to any comments or questions. Again, I ask that, that's me, I cannot unmute anybody. There we go.
Hi, this is Barbara Henry, and I had a question. There was still feedback, a comment, first of all, that there was still feedback as you were making the presentation via Zoom. But you said something, and I could not hear it all, about the main access being from 8th Avenue side, but that there would be pedestrian access to the south side, which is where there are other property owners.
Yes, so the Alachua County has required us to connect the open space to the surrounding properties. The undeveloped parcel to the south, as well as to the east, and as well as provide some pedestrian access to 9th Lane. The county is big on interconnectivity for pedestrians to enjoy the open space, as well as the trees and canopy that are proposed to remain in the development. And so that's what it's going to be an 8-foot wide mulch path that'll connect to south property line, which is 9th Lane, which is open to your residents as well, and the residents of the development.
Okay, so I have a concern and need to speak with someone who can give me information. Ninth Lane, which they're proposing as an emergency exit, that is a private lane.
Correct.
And because the property owners on the south side are not fenced in, that allows those folk coming from that residence to enter and be in our property.
Yes, it allows.
We have safety concerns. We have many concerns that we're now just being told about the counties. I understand access, et cetera, but who have they spoken to? Which of the property owners have they shared this with prior to now?
That I cannot answer who the county has shared that with.
Who would be the ones to answer that?
The county would be.
You mean the county commissioners?
Oh, that or the county growth management office, public works as well.
Wait a minute, county growth management, public works?
Yes. So.
And there was at the beginning, was it the county commissioners or some other?
You can reach out to them. I would recommend you contact Alachua County Growth Management.
Mm-hmm. And do you have the name of the person for the county's growth management?
Be Christine Barish. Berish is her last name.
Okay. Do you have a contact number?
You can email it.
We'll email it to you when we send you the PowerPoint presentation as well.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So yes, we understand your concerns. I mean, the county likes to promote access and interconnectivity to all surrounding developments. And it's just a way that they promote activity for, the residents of all communities. And it's just a requirement that they have in their development code to provide connections to all the surrounding properties to promote connectivity.
I understand that, but this is a residential area and had been for a long time. We have many senior citizens. We have been farmers. We have had access to without needing some of the safety measures that bringing in a subdivision is going to require.
Okay. Well, we'll be glad to talk to
animals. I mean, what are the restrictions? What are the, I have some questions, but I will direct them to Mrs. Barish.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's all, typical single family residence with, families, they could have pets, they couldn't have pets. It's just a typical subdivision like Tioga, just to the east.
Again, that's a new concept for this part of the county and the property because we have not, the nearest subdivisions are Tioga and Jockey Club, and families can range from 2 persons to however many, depending on the size of their home and their preferences. We don't have a lot of young children, and when you say opening access, children and adults too see something, they go after it, and so they could end up on our property. There are liability concerns.
Understandable. Again, people aren't supposed to be going through your private property.
Oh, no. I totally understand what people are supposed to and not supposed to do, but I understand people.
Okay.
Well, and just because there's a sign that says no trespassing doesn't mean that they're not going to trespass.
Okay. Well, and then there, just Ninth Lane is privately owned, but it does have a public right-of-way easement on it. And so that's why the county wants connection to it, because in their mind, they view it as a, public access, even though Ninth Lane is a private road. But we can pass your concerns on to the county.
Please do.
And I'm sure, by all means, feel free to reach out to them with your concerns as well.
Will do.
But again, we're following what the county requires, and
I understand.
so.
And I appreciate your presentation.
And so just again, that, in the county's eyes, Ninth Lane has an easement over it for public access. So that's, in their minds, the reason why they want interconnectivity to it.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions?
I do not. Thank you.
I'm going to mute you real quick. This was Rosa. Hi, Rosa. Can you hear us? I know you said you had some questions. Hi, Rosa. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Hi. You said you had some questions that you. In the beginning.
You've answered my concern, and Ms. Henry is gonna ask the questions from the county.
Okay. Now it looks like we have a new participant, phone number 672-4468. I know you're joining late. Do you have any questions or comments regarding the project? If you like, we can run, quickly back through the proposed changes to the plan if you like. Oops. Okay.
Do we know who joined with the number that you just gave?
I
This
don't.
is Jack Charnas from J. Brown Professional Group.
Okay.
It was someone from J. Brown's group?
Yes, calling in.
Okay.
Just to participate and listen.
Okay. You can mute me again.
So are there any other items? It seems like those are all our callers and participants. Are there any other comments or questions from Rosa or you as well, Barbara?
No.
I'd like to know, will we be notified in a timely manner for meetings forthcoming as we were with this one?
Yes. When this project moves through its process of being approved by the DRC committee, it has to go through the county review process, and then as well it has to go through to be approved by the Board of County Commissioners, and those are both public hearings, and they will advertise and reach out to you guys as well to let you know that the project's on the agenda for a certain meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
And if you request with Christine to be notified of any particular information, she'll make sure that you get it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So if you two don't have any other comments or questions, I mean, we can feel free to just wait a little while, see if there's any other of your neighbors who join, or we can, like to thank you for attending the meeting. But at this time, we don't really have any other information to share with you unless there's something in particular you're.
No, thank you, Chris. I don't have my clock. My clocks are all fast, so would you announce the time that this meeting is ending, please?
Absolutely. It is ending at 6:26 p.m. on September 28th.